In this video, I want to talk for a moment about the ugliness of Donald Trump. And I'm not referring to his appearance in any way. Rather, I'm talking about the ugliness that comes out of him via the words he says and what he writes on Truth Social. And the reason I want to talk about this is I believe that his supporters, those who are professed Christians, are being dragged down to his level every time this vileness comes out of him. They find a way to ignore what he says or justify it or talk about how it doesn't matter because in other ways he's good for the country. But unwittingly, they're being dragged down into the sewer with him. Let me give you just one example from today. Trump posted this on Truth Social, and I'm going to read this, but notice the underlying hatred in his comment. Not that it really matters, but a terribly untalented writer for badly failing Forbes magazine, Dan Alexander, who probably can't get a meaningful job in the business, has written so inaccurately about me that it is ridiculous. Many others also. The media is mostly fake news, but Forbes doesn't even try to get things right. I haven't spoken to these sleazebags in years. They don't want the facts, and they're so inaccurate, purposely, about everything. I would have thought Forbes would be dead by now, with dead in capital letters for some reason, but it continues to hang around like a bad disease. Isn't it owned by a hostile nation? Anyway, that's what happened when you have bad reporters with evil intentions. Eventually, the publication dies. I've happily seen it over and over again. Now, on one hand, these type of comments from Trump happen so often that most of us are probably almost immune to reacting to it. We're now at the point where his immaturity doesn't even bother us anymore. But if we look past the immaturity, we see an underlying ugliness to so much of what Trump says nowadays, whether in his speeches or on Truth Social. And his vileness just jumps out at us if we look at it objectively for just a moment. In this case, talking about bad reporters with evil intention, the publication dying, the word dead capitalized, calling people sleazebags, and on and on. All of this is Donald Trump showing us what he really is. And what he really is not a good person. The reason I'm mentioning this is because with each passing day that the Trump supporters who profess to be Christian accept this anti-Christian behavior from him, they become more and more like him. If there is one reason that Trump has thrown all these pejoratives at people over the years, it's because they are part and parcel of what he is. He doesn't have to get down into the mud to sling mud at someone. He's already in the mud. In fact, I would say he's in the sewer. But he's dragging professed Christians down to his level. The same kind of people who, a decade ago, would never have spoken like Donald Trump. Suddenly they're cursing, they're insulting others, they're calling people sleazebags and evil. They're acting like mini Trumps. So if you are a Trump supporter and you do profess to be a Christian, you really need to take a look at what you are now compared to what you were a decade back. Because the truth is, not only does Trump enjoy playing in the sewer, but he's pulling you down into the sewer with him.